Hello, I'm Dr. Miguel Cruz from Cruz Life Center in Burnsville, North Carolina. On this video, I want to explain to you why is it that we often recommend x-rays. First of all, I'll just give you the statement, to see is to know, not to see is to guess. And I really don't like guessing about people's health. On the last video, we talked about how the nervous system is so tied in with your spine, and how this term subluxation can create imbalances in the nervous system, leading to lots of different types of problems. On this particular one, I want to go into a little more detail of what happens in the spine if we allow these subluxations to go on uncorrected over a period of time. And a lot of this here we're only going to see if we take an x-ray of you. What we're looking at right here is three phases of what we call the subluxation degeneration. This first model is a normal. We see spinal bone, another normal spinal bone. In between is a disc. The disc is a cartilaginous. It's kind of like the gristle in a steak. It's tough but flexible. And what you see right here is what would represent the nerve coming out from in between the spinal bones. And if we can get a close-up here, you can see that there's a pretty good opening right in between the bones where that nerve comes out of. That nerve only takes up about 1/3 of the space. This next one is what we would call a phase 1. This would be a recent injury. In this particular case, you can see obviously the disc here is now swollen, and that swelling is in turn putting pressure on that nerve. Now this looks like it might be a painful situation, and it certainly can be. But what's important to know here is you can have that going on for years without any pain whatsoever. And the reason for that is this nerve is actually what's called a nerve root. Within it are thousands of individual nerve fibers, very much like this telephone cable that I have here. Out of all those nerve fibers, less than 10%, which would be like this little bundle right here, carry pain impulses. The other 90% are either going to muscles or they're going to organs. These nerves are not capable of carrying pain impulses. So the reality is you can have pressure on here, putting an irritation on those nerves, but if it's not significantly affecting the pain nerves, you might have very little or no pain at all. Another scenario is, what probably is more likely, is maybe there is some irritation going on in there, but you've gotten used to taking your popular pain medication, whatever your favorite one is, or whatever your physician has referred to you. The reality here, if this condition goes on uncorrected over many years, it will cause damage. And that damage being progressing into now what we call phase 2 of the subluxation degeneration. What you can see here is obviously that disc is now wearing away. It's much thinner than it used to be. Here we see what are bone spurs. I'm sure you've heard of the term bone spurs. You probably know people that have them. And it's just a wear and tear process that goes on in the spine. A lot of people have the diagnosis of degenerative disc disease or arthritis of the spine, and they're under the false impression that there's nothing they can do about that. And I can tell you that is so far from the truth. There is a lot you can be doing about this by correcting what's caused the problem in the first place. The best analogy I can give you right here is very similar to the front end of your car being out of alignment. What's it do to your tires? It makes them wear down unevenly and prematurely. And that's exactly what this is. Uneven and premature wear going on in your spine that could have been avoided had you done something to get to the cause of the problem in the first place. It's never too late. You can still do something about this, okay? What's important here, I do want you to see, is getting another close-up. Notice now the opening right here. It has gotten much smaller. There's so much less room for that nerve now. So the scenario changes. When somebody has a healthy disc, Well, this person might have had to pick up, for example, a 100-pound bag of feed in order to irritate that enough to cause it to swell, getting into a phase 1 here. But now this person has very little room for error. This is the person that comes into my office, and often they just picked up the newspaper that morning and couldn't straighten up. And I'll take the x-rays and we'll see what's going on, and they'll often ask me, well, doctor, did picking up the newspaper do this to me? My answer is, of course not. It's everything you've done for the last 30 years up until you picked up the newspaper that did this to you. So it's really a matter of the straw that broke the camel's back. We are gradually picking up more problems, decay, deterioration that from a problem that's not been properly addressed, and then all of a sudden, boom, you just do one wrong thing and you've got some serious issues. If the problem continues, now we move into a phase 3, and in this situation, it's pretty bad, okay? We still get phase 3 patients, we can still help them, but realizing that there's only so much you can do for this situation. Our goal as a chiropractor is to prevent this problem from continuing to get worse. We may not be able to reverse it, but we can certainly control it so that it doesn't just continue to get worse as time goes on, and we can certainly give you a better quality of life and get you feeling much better with the different treatments that we do have to offer. Watch the next video, because I'm going to actually show you what these look like on an actual x-ray.